Boom, we're live. Welcome to Nick White Classics, and today we're going to be doing some more cart cleaning. You can see we've got a total of 9 Atari 2600 cartridges in 3 rows. We've got A, B, and C. And what we're going to do is clean each of them out, inside and out, and you're going to help. So if you're watching this, what I'd like you to do is pick which row, A, B, C, and which number, 1, 2, 3, that you'd like to clean next. And then I'm going to reveal the cartridge. You can take a look at the artwork and then clean it out real quick. So I'm going to give it just a few seconds so that you can help me pick which cartridge should we clean first. If I don't hear anything in about 5 seconds, I'm just going to start with the dirtiest cartridge, which is clearly going to be a C2, right? So just to give you an example, if you were to chime into the chat and say C2, I would pick this one up, and we can see it's an Activision cartridge. We're going to reveal it's a game called Space Shuttle. A Journey into Space. Uses the joystick controller. And if we can look at the inside here, it's a little dusty. So let's clean it out. To start with, we have some residue on the back. There was a price tag there. Found this at a used game shop for a really good price. So I picked it up. I never played this game before. There's so many like space shooter games for the Atari 2600. I just wanted to... since I never played it before, I wanted to pick it up, give it a shot, put it in my collection. So, of course, we need to clean it out before we play it. And if you're just tuning in, you're going to help me pick what cart we're going to clean next. A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. Just put it in the chat. And as soon as we're done cleaning this cart out, we're going to move on to the next, whichever one is mentioned. So these old Activision carts, what's cool about them is you can see, well, first off, it says Activision, but then it has these indentations. So you know it's an Activision game as soon as you see it just by the shape, which is actually, yeah, really smart branding. And it looks like this game was published in 1983. And if you know the story of Activision, Activision is big on paying their game designers. In fact, Activision was created by a group of game developers that worked for Atari, and they weren't receiving what they felt like was fair pay or fair recognition for their work. So they went off and started their own company called Activision, that of course we all know and love today. So yeah, kind of interesting little story. So you can see inside we're getting out all the dust, and then we're just dipping our Q-tip in there into the isopropyl alcohol, and we're just cleaning off the contacts. This one's actually not too bad, so boom. So that is Space Shuttle. Now, hey, what's going on? Which cart should we clean next? So you could see that we have 3 rows, A, B, C, and then we have 3 columns, 1, 2, 3. So A, 1 through 3, and then B, 1 through 3, C, 1, 2 is open, and 3 there. So which cart should we go with next? Go ahead and type it in the chat. I'll do a reveal, and then we'll clean it out. Which cart should we do next? And if I don't hear anything within a few seconds, I'm just going to move on to the next dirtiest cart, which is going to be B2, which is a Parker Brothers game. Check it out. Yeah, they have the unique shaped cartridges as well, which I always love. You know it's a Parker Brothers game just by the shape. But if we do a reveal, we see this is Spider-Man. And I'm super excited about this game because when I was a kid, I did love this game. I've always loved Spider-Man. But this Atari version of the Spider-Man game is like, yeah, it was always fond in my memories, and I haven't played it in 25 years. So when I found this, I was excited to pick it up. So if you're just joining us, you're gonna help me pick what cartridges to clean next. A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. Just go ahead and type it in the chat, and we're gonna reveal and then clean the cartridges based on what you select. So that's the outside. Just wipe that down quick with a disinfectant wipe. Then we get some isopropyl on the Q-tip and clean the inside. I like to go live a few days a week, cleaning out classic game cartridges. Also do a podcast on Fantasy Booking Pro Wrestling. And I release vintage video and retro content on the channel. So if you're into that kind of thing, definitely subscribe to Nick White Classics. Double tap the screen for the like button. And yeah, subscribe to the channel and stay tuned. We're just getting started. I'm cleaning these out so that we could play them on the live stream. So far, I think we've done about 30 games live streamed. Yeah, what's happening, Jojo? This is Spider-Man. We got that one cleaned, and we have a couple more carts to clean, a handful. We're not even half done. So if somebody wants to pick A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, go ahead and type in the chat which one we should do next. I'll give you a second or two, and if I don't hear anything, I'm just going to pick the next dirtiest cartridge. All right, going once, going twice, and looks like we're going B3. Okay, what do we got? This is a Mattel game. You can tell by the shape, but also their logo is imprinted onto the back of the cartridge. And this game is called Space Attack. And the year on there, 1982. Never played this game. I always like Mattel's games. I think they've put out a handful of great games for the Atari 2600. And I always love adding a new cartridge to my collection from Mattel because they have the unique shape of their cartridges. So that's the outside. Now let's clean the inside. You can see, yeah, there's some dust and debris in there we want to get out. Just wipe it with the dry Q-tip. Then I'm going to get one that's soaked in isopropyl and clean off the chipboard. And go ahead and pick which one we should clean next. A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. And just in that order, as soon as you type it in the chat, we're going to pick that one next. So I'm producing original content for this channel, but then I'm also going live to play retro games and to clean cartridges and to do a podcast as well. So I'm trying to create content 7 days a week, and I much appreciate your support. Does anybody want to pick the next cartridge? We can go something from A, B, C. Just go ahead and type it in the chat, and I'll make a pick. Otherwise, I'm just going to grab the next dirtiest cartridge. Going once. A, B, or C. Which row should we pick from? Going twice. Okay. We're going with this one, which seems to be the next dirtiest. And this is Dark Chambers. Boom. This is another Atari game that I've never actually played myself. You can see copyright 1988. And it looks like also there's a copyright for 83. So I'm not sure if maybe the 83 copyright is an arcade version of this game, and then it was ported over to the Atari 2600 in 88. But I know that 1988 is pretty late to be, releasing new games for the Atari, because the Nintendo NES was already out at that time. So some of these, it's a later game for the system, so I would assume that the gameplay has got to be pretty sweet, pretty advanced for games, on this console. You would think, since it's one of their later releases. I think 1989. By 89, they were mostly done releasing content for the Atari 2600. So I'm just going to get in there with some isopropyl on my Q-tip. And just clean this out as much as I can, get off any dust and debris. from both the inside of the cartridge and, most importantly, from those little contacts that are in there on the chip. And we've got 5 cartridges left. Go ahead and pick a row, A, B, or C. If you type that in the chat, then that's the row that I'll choose from next. Okay, so that's Dark Chambers. And if I don't hear anything again, I'm just going to go with the next dirtiest cartridge. A. Okay, let's go here. And this is a game called Sorcerer. Ooh, it has a name on there by Myshon. And there's the cover art, and it says 1983. Oh, by Mythicon. So I've never heard of this game, but it seems cool. The artwork is really interesting. Sorcerer. So as we clean this out, you can see we've got 4 cartridges left, A, B, and C. Just go ahead and type A, B, or C into the chat, and that'll be the row that we pick from next. So going to clean off Sorcerer. And of course, these are just some games that I picked up recently, and I just want to get them cleaned out so that I can play them inside my Atari. Okay, this has an interesting release system. There we go. Essentially, you just need to depress this release, and then you can pinch down this dust guard. And with that pinched down, we can grab some isopropyl, clean out any dust, and wipe off the chip, specifically the little contacts in there, both sides of the chip. This is a super interesting cartridge, too. I've never seen another game released by this company, Mythicon. Mythicon Inc. Yeah, I'll have to look them up. I've never seen another game produced by them. And then the cartridge is a little unique with the dust guard just goes over half of the bottom. I've never seen a cartridge like this, so interesting. Okay, next pick is C. So let's take a look at what do we have here. Let's go with, boom, this one looks dirtier, so I'm going here. This is obviously an Activision game, and the Activision cartridges always have their logo embossed into the cartridge, and then it also has these lines on the bottom, which, if you see that, you know it's Activision. And this game is Kung Fu Master. Boom, by Activision. Now, I've never played this for the Atari 2600, but I have played this on the arcade. Looks like the year on this is 1984. And this was one of my favorite arcade games when I was a kid. In fact, there was a penny candy store about 2 blocks from my dad's house, and I would walk up there with a pocket full of quarters. I would buy some penny candy, and I would play Kung Fu Master on the machine. Actually, I think it was just called, the arcade version was just called Kung Fu. So this is Kung Fu Master by Activision for the Atari 2600. And I'm hoping that the gameplay is just the same as the arcade game. That would be super cool. Now just go ahead and pick. It looks like we got 1 left in each row. So if you want to just type in the chat whichever row we should pick from next. There is quite a lot of dust on this one. I hope it plays. Look at all that dust we got off. It's nasty. Okay, so just gotta go at it again with the right on the chip, and just the chip doesn't look too bad, but man, that one back wall of the cartridge is caked pretty thick with dust. Okay, good enough. So then we have down to 3 cartridges. Just 3 left, 1 in each row. A, B, C. Any preference? We're going B. Sweet. Okay, so the final Parker Brothers game that we have to clean today looks pretty clean. I This is a game called Sky Skipper, which I've never heard of before. This was released in 1981 by Nintendo. Sweet. So this is a game produced by Nintendo for the Atari 2600. And the inside looks super clean too, but I'm just going to wipe it out with a Q-tip and some isopropyl just to be safe. So next we just have two left, A and C. So if you have a preference on what you want to do next, just type it in the chat. And I don't care if we're saving our favorite for last or picking our favorite next. Doesn't matter to me. They all need to be cleaned. So again, you can see in there, this cartridge is very clean. For 1981, so it's what, 44 years old. It's got quite a bit of dust and debris, you would think, but maybe the previous owners cleaned it because it's not bad. So that's Sky Skipper. And our last two cartridges. We're down to our last two. Looks like somebody picked A. So we're going with, of course, we know it's Mattel because both the text on the back and the shape of the cartridge. And this is, a classic game. This is Burger Time. Again, this is one that I've never played for the Atari 2600. I have played Burger Time for the Intellivision. And of course for the arcade, but I've never played it for the Atari. So looking forward to trying this out. Streaming gameplay of this should be fun. There's a little bit of gunk and build up on the label here, so I'm going to hit it with Q-tip and some isopropyl and see if we can get anything off. Ooh, starting to take the color off. Okay. Yeah. You see that? I sort of ruined the label there. It's okay. As long as the game still plays, I guess that's what's important. And hopefully you learn something. If you're cleaning off your cartridges with isopropyl, make sure you don't put too much pressure or you might just rub off the ink like I just did. I usually just hit it with a disinfectant wipe, but for whatever reason, there's a little bit of like residue build up on there. So I tried to get that off, but I took off some ink. Sky Skipper. No, Burger Time. And we are down to one more cartridge. Dun, 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 dun. Let's do the final reveal here. Another Activision title. And we've got Megamania. And this is a classic game. You can see it's a space nightmare. You can see it looks like a sort of a Space Invaders style shooter game. There's a ton of old space shooters that were released for the Atari 2600, and it looks like this one came out in where's the year on here? 1982 by Activision. Never played this one either, but it should be fun. I've heard of it, right? So it's a popular game that you hear about on the chat boards and such. Okay, let's clean the inside and then we are done. There's a little bit of dust buildup in there. Yep. Yeah, a little bit, maybe a lot. Look at that. Gross. So as we wrap up and clean the chipboard on the final Atari 2600 cartridge, I just want to say thanks for tuning in. Thanks for helping me to pick the order. I always have more games. Thanks for asking. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and like the video, and we will be cleaning more carts very soon. Unfortunately, I got to run after we finish this one up. But yeah, but I definitely will be cleaning more cartridges very soon, so definitely stay tuned. And check it out. So clean, you could eat off it, right? Looking good. Now I'm going to let these dry overnight, and then eventually I'm going to play these on live stream. So thanks so much for tuning in to Cleaning Carts on Nick White Classics. If you enjoy this kind of content, make sure you subscribe. And we're going to be live streaming gameplay of all of these games very soon. So with that, I will call it a day. Enjoy your afternoon.